Big news today, though, that we can't ignore. I got cooked for this last week, but it's picking up pace. I've spoke to a very credible person, in my opinion, at City, who said he feels that it's about 90% certain that Pep leaves in the summer of 2025. Ornstein stated that industry insiders believe it could happen in 2025. And now Fabrizio Romano has said that it is a concrete possibility that Pep Guardiola has one more year left in England and then moves on. What's your thoughts on that, LB? Obviously, you've just completed this famous and historic four-peat. You've got the best manager in the world. It is always going to come to an end. Are you getting a feeling now like there might be one more year left in yours?
I don't know, because like we have this conversation quite a lot because Pep never signs big contracts, so we seem to have this conversation almost every year. I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, you got to look at where could he go that's better for him right now. Like the whole club is literally built for him. You know what I mean? He's got his mates running the club. You know what I'm saying? He's got a great squad. If he wants a player, we'll usually get the player. Like where else could he go? He ain't gonna go back to Barcelona. No chance. You know what I mean? That club's in a mess right now, so he ain't gonna go back there. I don't think he's going to be going back to Bayern Munich because the fans didn't particularly rate him that much when he left. France, PSG, maybe. International management, maybe. So I don't know, man. I feel like obviously if it does happen, obviously gutted, cry my eyes out type situation. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be there's going to be a dip. Obviously, can't sit here and say there's not going to be a dip when he leaves. Of course there is. But I don't know. You just got to keep on. With Pep, I think you just got to keep on trying to make him like feel happy at the club. You know what I mean? If he gets bored, or it feels like the board ain't backing him, or he feels like the fans ain't backing him, or the players, then obviously you just got to do everything you possibly can to not let him leave. So obviously his contract is up. So as it stands, he is leaving in 2025 because he's not signed a contract yet. But I guess it is what it is. Like you got to look at it and say, I'll tell you what should happen. Yeah, and this isn't. I don't want this to happen, obviously, but like the truthful thing is, England should try and get him to manage England. That's what should happen. If I was the top dog at the FA, I'm like doing everything possible to get Pep Guardiola to manage England. And I don't really want that to happen. I want him to stay with City in it. But like that's the truth. Would he go Spain? Don't know. Yeah, there's very limited places he could go. There are rumours that New York City, obviously another CFG club, they want to take him in 2025 with Kevin De Bruyne. Could that happen? Maybe. At least City keep him within the group, But I don't know. I guess at the moment we don't really know. I hope it doesn't happen though, man, because this dominance that we've got. I know people want to speak about the money and whatever, but obviously you got to have money. You got to spend money to win. But it is obviously because of Pep Guardiola. You know what I mean? In my opinion, he's the best manager of all time. And even if you don't think he is, he's in everyone's top 2 or 3, right? So that's the reason why we're so dominant. So I don't want him to leave anytime soon. So yeah, hopefully he'll sign a new deal.
What do you think, Dan? I mean, obviously for rivals like us, we hope this news is true, and that's meant with no disrespect whatsoever.
Nah, I get it.
To Man City, but he has been there 8-9 years. That's even by old-fashioned times. That's still a very, very, very long appointment. Do you think he might now have one more year, try and do this 5P, try and win the Champions League again, and then go rest for a while?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I want him to go tomorrow. But I just feel like he might just keep winning at City. I mean, he's got so many options. It's Pep Guardiola. He can go retire if he wants. He can go have a break for a year. He could go and win in Italy or France. He could go international. He's got so many options because anyone would have him, right? So it's not like, some managers, they leave and they think, right, what can I do now? Who will have me? It's the complete opposite for Pep. Pep can go and choose a club that he wants to go and then they'll say yes. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference he's got. So I just, knowing Pep Guardiola like I do, and I do look at a lot around Pep, because I agree with LB. I think he's the best ever. I think he's better than Fergie. I think he's the best manager I've ever seen. The guy is ridiculous. I think he's changed European football, not just English football. I think he is literally ridiculous, right? So I know, and LB will know, and Man City fans will know, this guy is a madman. He's an absolute nutcase for football. I don't think he's ready to go yet. I really don't. So I don't think he's going to retire. That's the first question. But where does he go is a really interesting one for me. Because the clubs you mentioned, PSG does not sound that attractive for somebody like Pep. He might go there and go, wow, I've won you a Champions League. That might be the aim. But it's a boring league. It's not really, I don't think it's going to test him like he wants it to. I don't think the competition level's there for him. So I don't see France. Italy could be interesting for me, though. Maybe a club like Juventus or something like that, where they were all winning, and now they're not so much, and they need a manager to go take them to that level ahead of the likes of Inter and AC. That could be of interest to him. Internationally, I'm not saying that when managers go to manage international football, they don't ever come back into club management, but it's quite rare that you get the passion. That could be the way that he has a bit of a break, because you do have a bit more of a break as an international manager, and you're still in there competing at the very top. I would be so happy if he come to England, man, after Southgate, because Southgate's going to have this tournament and I think go wherever. That for me would be what I would want to happen. But for Man City fans, Christ, they want to keep hold of this guy for another decade at least, because he's winning everything, man. And I will be very, very happy when he leaves City. Let me tell you that now.
Yeah, look, listen. A part of me wants to just say no, he's going to stay, but that's actually me saying I think he'll leave. People will say that's cope, but actually, me saying I think he'll stay and that's me. I think he will leave, just because. I don't know about what Fergie did of 20. When people say long term, you got Paisley. Sorry, you've got like Fergie and you've got Clough and you've got managers of that era and Wenger that sort of did these sort of 25-year stints, 25-year stints. But when you look through history at most long-term appointments, about a decade is in that ballpark throughout all the eras of football. And he has achieved absolutely everything. And I've got a feeling that he may go. Part of me feels like actually lying to the audience and saying, actually, no, I think he might stay. A way of trying to tempt fate, if I'm being honest. And it's what's probably convinced me is the people that I've spoken to who would never allow any bullshit to be said about their club, Manchester City. And they are heavily convinced that there is a higher chance that he leaves. Also, when it comes to David Ornstein, generally, he doesn't even comment on something unless he feels there's a real strong possibility something comes off. From a City point of view, I get why you guys don't want him to go, because I don't think you'll ever be as good again. And that's not, or least of all, not for many, many years. And again, that isn't because I think you're a rubbish club without him or anything like this. He is just so good. And I had Fergie at my club for 25 years. And my club were also fortunate enough to have Sir Matt Busby. I don't remember those games, but I can read the history. I can go back and research it. And it's very, very hard to repeat that. We've been very lucky to have that twice. City, you might get it again in the future, but I don't think there's a single manager on planet Earth right now that has the ability to win like Pep. And I mean domestically and be a force in Europe as consistently as he has been. Ancelotti is literally the don when it comes to European football. He's very good domestically, but he's never been someone that's dominated a league for prolonged periods of time. He'd never actually retained the league title up until this point of his career. So it's going to be very, very hard for City to get to these levels again, although they'll remain a really, really good team. I also think as well, and again, this is maybe completely shrouded in bias, but I think it's really good for the Premier League for Pep to leave as well. And I mean that in a sense of, if I'm not even looking at this as a Man United fan, if I try and be completely neutral, it will open up multiple possibilities towards who else could maybe now win the league. Liverpool have done it once. Arsenal and Liverpool both come close on a couple of occasions. But just like especially in the 90s under Sir Alex, it didn't matter if we got pipped one year. We won it back again the next, then went on runs again. This City team is just as dominant. And it would be quite exciting to have maybe City drop off the pace by 5 to 10 points, a few other teams improve, and suddenly it feels a little bit equal. So I'd like it to happen on a bias level. I'd like it to happen for the Premier League. There's always a possibility that he does stay, but it all depends on his motivation. I think England, I'd love him at England. I always think about a team like AC Milan. I think about a team like AC Milan, a fallen giant. Could he go somewhere like that? They don't have a crap budget. They just haven't been very good. They won the league only a few years ago. Could he go back to a team like AC Milan and make them the dominant force in Italy again and win them another European trophy? Because then Pep can tick everything off at club level. He's gone into multiple countries where he's taken over the best teams or one of the best teams and made them the most dominant side. What about doing what Fergie did with Man United and resurrecting a legitimate giant of the game and putting them properly back on the map? I'm putting it out there as that could be a motivation for somebody like him. The only thing I don't ever see him doing is doing an Aberdeen or a Porto and going to a much smaller club and making them one of the best in the world. But I hope he does go for multiple reasons, but because he's literally too hard for anybody else to beat, especially consistently. You can do. I think you can beat Pep in a one-off season. I don't think you can beat Pep consistently over a 5-year period. If it's whoever versus City and they're both really good, Pep, in my opinion, is coming out minimum 3-2, if not 4-1 in those 5 seasons. He's that much better, in my view.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. You're spot on, and that's one of the reasons I think he's the best manager around. Listen, we'll have to see. City right now is the perfect club for him. Like I said to you earlier, he's got everything he needs, but maybe he just wants a new challenge. Maybe an international job's come up. Maybe he wants a rest. He just wants some time away from the game. Maybe spend some more time with his family or whatever. Don't know.